Hello collectors, so after the recent success of our Game Pass video, I decided to make a starter Loomian video. Overall, there are 7 starters, and before I basically explain all of them, I'll explain what I think of picking your starter. And personally, you see all 7, you can't see these two because my Trumble's in the way, but you'll be able to see the profile picture. I personally believe, though, that you should pick these 3 Loomians I'll show in a minute, just because they'll help you speedrun the progression. The reason why is if you watched our Raleigh Ranch video, which I highly suggest watching, it's on our channel. There's PvP specific sets you want to run for Loomians, and that isn't just moves. That's TP training. That's personalities for TP training. It's actually our first video that we've ever made on our channel too. But overall, you want to get like a certain PvP spec Loomian, and these will never have the PvP spec move. Other than that, though, I will break them down, starting with Feevine. So Feevine, I see sometimes in PvP, not often, but once he's up there, a good trained Tatab, which is its full evolution, it is quite dangerous. So he'll be definitely someone to keep an eye on. He will be weak against the second gym, which is why I wouldn't suggest picking him, just because, I mean, he's weak against the second gym. Now, obviously, if you're going to pick him anyways, I'd pick him. I'm just explaining some things about him, though. But he's pretty strong of physical melee attack, so when you want to build him for your main story, then you're going to want to head and build him for melee attack. And another thing, I'm going to bump in and interject real quick. I do think you should have a personal story team in like a PvP team, because it's just going to be boring if you just speed run through with a PvP team. I'd rather just take like my Halloween Salchi from the 2019 event and just slowly but surely grind up through the battle theaters and just go ahead and just sweep it with like my Trumbull or something. But let's go on to the next one. So this is one I personally pick because he's Vambat. He will be super effective against the light types in the light type gym, if I remember correctly. So he'll be pretty solid, taking out half the gym members, and still a dark against the dark is a pretty good matchup. You can run into Geklos to fill in that dark matchup on Route 4, right before, or Route 3, sorry, right before getting to the city. And overall, you don't really see him a lot in PvP. Vesperatu, you don't see him. That's his full evolution, by the way. If I say a name of like a different Loomian, it's probably going to be the max evolution of this guy, or max evolution of the starter Loomians. But you don't see him a lot in PvP. I think he's a melee attack build. It's just I don't know because I don't see him in PvP, and I'm only really paying attention to the melee, or sorry, not the melee, the PvPs. But I would assume he will be a melee attacker based off his final evolution. I don't really see him a lot in PvP, so I would really just get him just to beat the first gym quickly, and that's pretty much it. Now, Weevil, I have a lot to say about Weevil. So Zulong is arguably one of the strongest Loomians at the moment, mainly because he has a very, very, very high speed and a very, very, very high range attack. Now, he has horrible defense. He takes a hit and he's dead. This is Zulong, by the way, in PvP versus another PvP Loomian. But once he hits a shot, it's going to be a strong and a powerful shot. You want to build this guy for speed, and you want to build this guy for range attack. Overall, I highly suggest getting him. He will not be particularly effective against any of the gyms in general, but overall, he's just such a well-rounded and strong Loomian that I would definitely consider picking him up. So next up is Dripple. He's another guy I would suggest picking up, mainly because he'll be super effective against the second gym, being the Fire-type gym. You see him quite often in PvP with like a range attack setup. And overall, he's pretty solid. Personally, not my favorite character design-wise, both first and last evolution. But overall, he's pretty solid, and I would definitely suggest picking him up, especially if you want to just speed run to get to the third gym at the moment of this recording. So Eaglet, again, another character I'd pick up because he'll be super effective against half of the first gym. You can cover it up with Ragoon, or sorry, a Kleptyke on Route 3 as well. You don't see him at PvP at all. I don't think I've seen one in forever, except from like people who just randomly challenged me and had obviously no PvP team. Like they just had half evolved Loomians and everything. He's pretty solid early game with Luster Loot, but late game or later game, he's absolutely nowhere when it comes to battling and stuff. So overall, do I think it's worth getting an Eaglet? Personally, for speedrunning, yes, but for PvP, hell no. I wouldn't touch him for PvPing. But this is just to speedrun you through, and if so, then I would suggest picking him up and then dropping him later. Now, next up is Mbit, another guy I would suggest picking up because it'd be super effective against the third gym. But at that point, you'll have options to run into, like you'll be able to run into Skilava in his max evolution being Gexplode. Igneel, I think, picks up some moves. Ikazune, if you run into the wild, has some fire type moves. So overall, there's more options this far in the game, but still suggest taking him up. He'll be okay against the second gym, and he'll be pretty solid against the first gym as well. Not being super effective, but being just normal. Overall, you see him quite often in PvP. I do enjoy fighting against them because they're a bit of a challenge. But overall, a pretty solid choice, and I would definitely recommend picking him up. And finally, Snowcub. So Snowcub, it's a pretty solid guy. I would not pick him up though, for early game mainly because while he's super effective in Gale Forest, he's nowhere for the rest of the game. He's weak against the second gym. He's okay against the third. Only real benefit of him is speedrunning Gale Forest and maybe doing the first Battle Theater speedrun if you don't want to run a Eaglet or a Vambat. Overall, would I suggest picking him up? I mean, not really, but I do highly suggest running him in PvP because he's pretty good at PvP. He's just not really built for the first 3 gyms, especially with what kind of place I have to use for PvP. So overall, that's all 7 starter Loomians, as you can see here. Overall, these Loomians would not be used in PvP at all. They do not simply have the nature. They won't have the UPs either because of the odds. Only reason why you'd have to buy a Loomian at this, or a starter Loomian, would be to try to get a Gamma, and at that point, I would just pick whatever has the most value at the moment. Whether it's like a Weevil or something else. And at the end of the day, pick whatever starter Loomian you want. It doesn't really matter what you pick at the end of the day. I was just telling you guys some things about each one. And if you guys enjoy this video, make sure you guys leave a like, comment, subscribe, join the Discord, and and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.